You're telling him to start?
Hey, welcome to the Rusty Horn yet again. It's me, Astrogation, alongside.
The always ever vigilant dingo, as it is tonight.
All right, yeah, tonight our series is going to be a bit later time-wise than normal, just because we had some delays in the bracket. But we have three semifinalist lines up already. We are going to be casting a quarterfinals first, and then after this game we'll have all four semifinalists. But anyway, right now we're going to be looking at Van Doom versus his opponents. Now, sorry, you had a better pronunciation, so you go for it.
I think what we're gonna go with tonight is Nal Guidan.
Nal Guidan,
Van Doom's opponent tonight.
I'm gonna give them the go-ahead.
Sure.
And yeah, so it should be great. I've been gone for the last two casts, I think. So we haven't casted together in over 2 weeks.
Yeah, we haven't. It's been the dynamic duo has been absent for 2 weeks now. It's been 2 full weeks.
Yeah, but today we're back, ready to go, and also this is our first tournament with HSWC points, and we got a bigger bracket, and looking through the bracket myself, I noticed a lot of good players. Yeah, it was today was going to be a bit more competitive than it has been the previous week, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, those WCS points really start to draw out the numbers and really want to really start to attract player attention. And always a good idea to sign up for the Rusty Horn regardless, but especially so now that you can get your coveted WCS points from the Rusty Horn series.
All right, and now we have our first match underway, guys. Van Doom versus Nal Guidan. Nal Guidan.
Sure.
You asked for it.
And yeah, it looks like we'll be seeing a Hunter versus Mage so far. Let me make sure I get Nal Guidan's. Alright, he's invited me to spectate. Let's do it. Oh, my game is very lagging. Lost a lot of frames. Alright, we're good.
So it looks like a standard mech mage coming out from Nal Guidan. Possibly face hunter coming out from Van Doom, given the 2 kill commands and the web center start.
Looks like Van Doom's going to be on the mid-range hunter because he's got the Houndmasters and the freezing traps. Nal Guidan's running the recently popularized version of mech mage that runs Fel Reavers. Strife Crow is actually running this list in the Archon Team League, so pretty solid list.
Yeah, it definitely the Fel Reavers have been sort of this taboo card, whether or not it's good or not, or should you have it, should you not? What is it? Mech Shaman, I think, relied heavily on them in its heyday. But yeah, you're right. It is interesting to see it come to prominence in the Archon Team League and to see its what it can do.
Van Doom drawing kind of poorly this game. His hand is so bad that he had to play a freezing trap on turn 3, and he even drew into his other freezing trap, and that's not exactly what you want to be seeing. You want to get those traps from the scientists. He actually even messaged me in the game. He's like, I'm so fucked. I should turn on busy mode.
Like some player commentary. Actually, now Guidan gonna like to push out the Fel Reaver, seeing that freezing trap on turn 3 and only the Oasis Snapjaw on turn 4. I guess he's gonna push through, try and push for as much damage as he can.
Now, getting this Oasis Snapjaw Houndmaster is a pretty big deal. It's going to be a 4/9, so it is going to be tough enough to, block out Fel Reavers from hitting the face once, at least. And it'll even do, 4 damage to it. Now, how does he finish it off, though? He does have kill command, so I guess that works.
Yeah, he is going to trade in with the Fell Reaver, play out the Blast Mage behind that. Hopefully going to take care of all 4 to the face.
Wow.
Face is the place tonight for Nagwadon, starting it off.
That Goblin Blast Mage trained very, very well. Quick Shot. It's a decent draw, but it looks like Owl Kill Command's gotta come out here. Otherwise, this Fell Reaver is just gonna wreak havoc.
Yeah, unfortunately, can't let that damaged Fell Reaver stay alive too much. And 8-4, while not threatening with 4 health, certainly requires a response. Since the Houndmaster.
Ooh, actually, okay, this is even better. He's gonna silence his own Houndmaster to unfreeze it, and then just trade it in.
Good play. Keeps the kill commands. Good idea. You need that. You need the extra removal or the burst damage. We do see Dr. Boom in hand for Nagwadon. For the mech mage that's been popularized recently, I think holding on to the kill commands was a good idea. If it were the mech mage of ye olden days, holding onto those kill commands may not have been so important for removal.
Well, one of the most important things about that play is that it allowed him to trade off his 4-1 to not let it get pinged off, because that would be a lot of value for the mage's hero power. Another thing is that it also allowed him to develop a piloted Shredder, and developing a minion, obviously usually very, very good. You want to be playing, proactively. If you don't develop your minions, you're probably going to be just falling way behind. But that Shredder got dealt with pretty easily. Not much Van Doom can do with this hand. Now, I mean, he's at 14. He's got a bow and 2 kill commands.
I wonder.
Yeah, not a whole lot going into this one. Gonna have to play the bow, play the hero power, and looks like he thought about playing the quick shot. Okay, he's considering it again. Yeah, gonna go ahead and quick shot and get that Annoyatron out of here. Blast Mage still standing strong.
Right.
Now 9 damage to the face.
Now Boom's just gonna come out, and there's really no response to this one. Unleash Kill Command could save him a turn, but
yeah, still dire straits there on the other end of this turn. Yeah, going to commit in 2 Hounds and clear off the. Ooh, only able to commit 3. The 4th one being taken out by the Boom Bot. Yeah, that's it. Van Doom, realizing it's a bit of a fruitless effort, attacks into the Goblin Blast Mage and surrenders here on game number 1. That Blast Mage, too strong, man. That was what? That was 19 damage to the face out of that Blast Mage alone.
yeah, Blast Mage can typically blow out games against other aggro decks if you can get that kind of value with it. I mean, usually, if you're up against a mech mage, you really have to think about like clearing out their mechs every turn just to play around it as much as you can. But if you can't, then once they drop that Blast Mage, yeah, you are usually in a pretty tough spot.
Definitely. And especially when you drop the Blast Mage and it goes all 4 damage to the face.
Yeah, in that situation, it just sped up his death.
Your soul shall be mine. Let the hunt begin.
Very large starting hand from Nagwadon over there, pulling out 2 Giants and a Twilight Drake. Probably not going to see that Molten Giant stay in hand. Probably not even the Mountain Giant. And a pretty good start from Van Doom.
Right, this is actually a pretty good curve here. He's got the 1, 2, 3. Nagwadon's got the handlock, it seems. So he's actually going to be slightly unfavored here, but we'll see. We have seen handlock pull strong against hunters, in the past. You just have to have the right draws, have the dark bombs for the knife jugglers, gotta have the molten giants when they don't play around your molten giants, and you gotta have the heal bots after that too. So
You're telling them to start?
hey, welcome to the Rusty. No. Alright, I had the stream up and I didn't have it muted. But anyway.
So now Gudon only trading back the Mountain Giant, keeping both the Molten and the Twilight Drake, which I guess is pretty strong for Handlock to keep out that Twilight Drake, because you know you're going to get some value out of it on turn 4, or by turn 4 rather. And the Molten Giant you could have value. He does know that this is mid-range Hunter.
To my side.
So probably not as much damage being done to the face. But this start is pretty aggressive from Van Doom compared to last match.
Wow, this is going to be a pretty... It's not a bad start for an Algodon. He doesn't have to deal with a Knife Juggler. And he's also got double Twilight Drakes, which in this spot is going to be really, really great for him. I'm kind of surprised that Van Doom coined out the Animal Companion instead of just playing out his curve. Because now he's going to be floating 1 mana this turn. But it's going to be pretty okay for him still, because he's still going to just curve into the Shredder. Now Algodon going to go ahead and drop the Mountain Giant. Now here's the thing. Mountain Giant's going to be a lot better against Hunter because the Twilight Drakes can get silenced and removed very easily, whereas the Mountain Giants, because Hunters don't run big game Hunters, are going to be a lot harder to remove. More invulnerable to silence.
Definitely. Van Doom's going to play out the piloted Shredder on curve, going to go to the face with everything else. Face is the place tonight.
Yeah, indeed. He doesn't, have to play around Moltens just yet. This Mountain Giant, though, going to clear out the Leok. Very important. Leok represents a lot of damage, due to its effect. Oh, he's just going to throw out the heal bot here. Alright. Actually, now Gudon's looking pretty good here. He does have 2 heal bots, and he has a Taunt Giver, and he has a Thorson.
Put this apple on your head.
Yep, pretty strong handlock hand from Nal Gudon. The Knife Juggler play for Van Doom. I guess he's going to hope that this clears off the Mountain Giant, and then he can use the weapon to attack him for the heal bot.
Alright, this is definitely going to clear the board. This leaves Van Doom slightly vulnerable to a Hellfire, but now Gudon doesn't quite have the Hellfire. He could Owl Shadow Flame, but I think Thorson's just going to come out. It's just much stronger. And there it is.
The Golden Emperor himself blessing Nal Gudon with some mana discounts much needed on some of these cards.
Right. That's crazy how much value he gets from that. With the handlock, with the full hand, that's basically like 8-9 mana right there.
Van Doom gonna choose to clear off with Quick Shot and trade in with a Spider. Everything else going to the face, as is tradition with the Hunters.
Right. Unfortunately for Van Doom, though, now Gudon's got a lot of options here. One of them being Twilight Drake, Zombie Chow into Argus, which would... That Zombie Chow is a pretty good top deck because it allows him to give out 2 Taunt Givers. Oh, actually, Owl can come out instead. Owl Shadow Flame.
Good idea there.
Right, that Thorson did so much value for Nalgodon last turn because the Owl Shadow Flame combo then only costed 4 mana, which allowed him to play out a 4/9 Drake at the same time.
I see.
Yeah, against a developing board, that was probably the best handlock turn that you could want against something. Albeit it was a smaller board in terms of health, but that was nearly the perfect turn that you want, seeing that kind of ramp up from the hunter.
Right, and Sylvanas Argus, pretty strong play this turn. He could also, I mean, he doesn't have to play Sylvanas. He could actually just play any of his other minions on up, but Sylvanas is definitely the most impactful. Because once you have Sylvanas taunted up, it's just so hard for them to remove that. I mean, they remove it and then it's just going to steal one of your other minions.
My shield for Argus.
Now Gwydan, not going to attack him quite yet, playing around the freezing trap. He doesn't know that it's an explosive trap, but definitely in the spot where you don't know, it's better for him to be playing around freezing trap there. So I definitely like not attacking.
Unleash the Hound's going to help clear off Sylvanas to an empty board. Her mind control not going to take out anything. Stampeding Kodo going to finish off, kill off that Defender of Argus, but he is still left with a 5/8 Drake with taunt on Nalgwidan's board. That's still intimidating even after that turn of clear.
Right, and this is not looking good for Vandum. His hand is out of cards, and now Gwydan just goes ahead and plays Molten Giant into Healbot. And at 22, and with another taunt coming right up within the Belcher, yeah, I just don't see how Vandum pushes through here.
The draws for Nalgwidan tonight have been on point. Even in his Mech Mage, drew pretty superior draws, and handlock. I would guess that as a handlock, you're pretty okay with these draws.
Yeah, and now Gwydan that much closer to just. Well, I shouldn't even say that much closer. He wins this game, he's gonna be a semifinalist today.
Yep. Hellfire gonna help take care of most of this board except for the Stampeding Kodo.
Now finally just gonna test out what trap it is. Finds out it's explosive.
Doesn't really matter much. Vandum out of cards, down to 11 health, only carrying a weapon and a Stampeding Kodo.
Almost out of time.
Right. I wonder if... Yeah, now Gwydan's just gonna go ahead and drop his Belcher here. There's just no getting through that.
I don't even think with a Misha play that'll even save you long enough.
And even if you roll Huffer, you're not even pushing through all the taunts.
To my side. Well played.
Well played's coming out. Siphon Soul gonna deal with the Misha.
That's it. So that's it, right? Now we're down 2-0 against Vandum.
Right, and going forward in our semifinals, matches will now be best of 5 conquest. So we'll be able to see some more exciting series. But yeah, our final semifinalist here, Nalgwidan. He is gonna go up against his opponent, Tosca, who's been waiting for quite a long time for this match since the bracket was so far behind. But thanks to him for being very, very patient today. I'm gonna go on a quick intermission just to see if they are ready. Hey, and welcome back to the Rusty Horn. We will be bringing you our first semifinal match today. It's going to be between Tosca and the winner of the last match we just casted, Nagodan. Gonna be the first best of 5 series to cast tonight. It'll be awesome. What do you think, Dingo?
I think any match in the RCS series, any match in the Rusty Horn series is always awesome. Always edge of your seat action as to whether or not it's a blowout or an even series. I'm sure we'll see nothing but the best from these two players tonight.
Yep, and Tosca's getting ready. He said he had to go to the restroom real quick, so we'll give him that honor.
No excuses. Tournament play only. I don't know, Astro, are you excited for TGT dropping on the 24th? What is that, Monday? We'll get TGT access, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, there's a bit of confusion. Okay, so the other semifinalists are also ready right now, but I'm telling them that, well, we try to get a hold of them, but they weren't ready, so we had to do the second semifinals first. Yeah, both players pretty good players. Actually, the Nagodan just told me that he saw the Wind Fairy Shaman video that I had posted on Reddit. He was like, it looked like a really fun deck. He really wanted to try it, and well.
How's it been these last 2 weeks since we've been gone, Astro? How's the Wind Fury Shaman been treating you?
Well, I took a break from testing it for a while, and I played a little bit today, and it went 6 and 7, so it wasn't. I don't know. I haven't been able to, like, the first few games that I played, I won in glorious fashion. And when you win, you're gonna win in glorious fashion. But when you lose, it's so, it's kind of like there was really nothing you could do about it.
Right.
But
sort of a high risk, high reward kind of play.
Well, the problem is with it is that it gets, if you're up against a lot of aggro decks, you'll just get killed before you can assemble your combo. Versus control decks, you can have the time to get your combo, and versus, actually even against Patron Warrior, it actually has a pretty good record against Patron Warrior, which is, yeah, pretty good, but it loses to like Hunter and Mech Mage and Aggro Paladin and the like.
Sure.
All right, I don't know which one we should do first, actually, because now we're having a problem with the second semi-finalist. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell.
As always, some logistical woes. They are wont to happen.
I don't know if either of these guys are ready. Like, this is kind of, we're going like back and forth here. I'm gonna tell, we gotta stick to one, and I don't know.
I say if Kuhaku and Karate-dom are ready.
Yeah, okay, they're ready. All right, they're ready. Okay, sorry for all that delay, guys. We are now ready to jump into a game with Karate-dom and Kuhaku. All right, and now we are heading in the game.
There we go.
Rexar versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild. Let's
Alrighty. So our first semifinal match of the night will be Kuhaku versus Karatidom. Druid versus Hunter. Your predictions tonight, Astro. Karatidom bringing what looks to be his mid-range Hunter out against Kuhaku's Druid. What do you think is going to happen?
I typically like mid-range Hunter in this matchup, but you know, Druid still has good fighting chances. Kind of, you know, Karidom's always bringing out the interesting list. So the Windfury Shaman deck that I posted on Reddit, well, he actually posted it. It's actually his deck, and he played it in the Rusty Horn to victory once, and that's how I found out about it. And we actually casted it together. We were like, wow, that was amazing. So Karidom, definitely a veteran. He's won the Rusty Horn twice, actually. So seeing him back here in the semifinals is, you know, pretty cool. His starting hand here, though, is kind of clunky.
Not exactly what you want to see out of mid-range Hunter for your starting hand. 2 kill commands being drawn, as well as an Unleash the Hound. Will pick up a Haunted Creeper in time for turn 2, but not great supporting cards behind that Haunted Creeper.
It'd be well, actually, I mean, he could be a god here and just like draw into a curve. Kohaku, being the good Druid player that he is, has a Wild Growth and opts to use it. Draws into a bow. Doesn't have any targets for the bow. I wonder if he just hits face. All right, just gonna hold it. I agree with that.
So we do know that Kuhaku has Force of Nature, Savage Roar waiting. He has his first Savage Roar drawn already. Gonna hunt for those Force of Natures too, but that's obviously going to be a combo that takes later on in the late game series.
Ooh, okay, Karidom kind of looking to draw a Shredder there, draws into another bow, decides, alright, I need to use the bow that I already have equipped because I have another bow, just to push face damage, and it's all good and fine. I wonder if Kuhaku just coins out the Thorson here. It's gonna get pretty good value. He's gonna be able to play his Boom next turn, actually, even with, yeah. Alright.
The telepathic astrogation bringing you those ESP plays, subtly hinting to Kohaku via mind control that he should play out his Thorson. Unfortunately, it does get kill commanded right away, which is a good response from Karatidom. You want to get that Thorson out of there. Not really sure what the Druid has, but you know you don't want discounts on all of those cards.
Alright, I mean, one thing that it forced Karidom to do was Karidom would have liked to develop Lotheb there, but if you develop Lotheb there, you're going to give your opponent another turn of Thorson value, and that is not exactly what you want. So that Thorson did wonders, and now Kuhaku's got such a lead here. He could just play Boom right now, and you know, Karidom could play the high main here, but then he'd just be... He's basically a turn behind. So he's going to go ahead and Unleash the Hounds this time, actually. Looks like it's going to be Unleash Bow. Oh, face is the place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, gonna race it down. He figures he can put out enough damage to scare Kuhaku into some board clear and scare in some trades, but I don't know if Kuhaku is going to fall for that or not. Double Savage Roar gonna come out. Quite a lot of damage.
Wow. That double Savage Roar.
That's it.
Wow. On the boom bots.
Man. Turn 7, Kuhaku, double Savage Roar. Gonna take the first game in this best of 5 series with a quickness. Going to set the pace very early on.
Yeah, Kuhaku drew the nuts there, the literal nuts. Coin Thorson into Boom, into double Savage Roar. I actually like both of their plays that game. I think, you know, Karate Dum, given the hand that he had, he did everything that he could. Definitely, he realized that playing his Savannah High main into the Boom was going to be a little bit too slow. Unleash the Hounds Bo would have given him the best chance of winning, because basically with a kill command in his hand, he could potentially just threaten to lethal his opponent in the next turn. But unfortunately, dang, that Savage Roar. That double Savage Roar.
Double Savage Roar, yeah. Just going to show you that Force of Nature Savage Druid is the Force of Nature absolutely is not required if you develop the right board.
Right. The only thing you really need is a lot of the double combo druids. Well, they might cut one Force of Nature just because having two of them is a bit clunky. It used to be the thing back in the day where everybody would just like run one Force of Nature so that they could sub it for like another minion for minion consistency. But now with Thorson, people are still back to running double combos and or also having two pieces of Force of Nature. But yeah, you don't even need to draw Force of Nature sometimes to win the game if you have the minions and the Savage Roars.
Definitely.
Alright, Karate Dum busting out his Patron Warrior now. And Kuhaku's got his Rogue, and whoa! That is an Assassin's Blade.
It is. What was it, 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago that we saw the Cold Blood Leroy Rogue, wasn't it, that also ran Assassin's Blade?
Oh, right. That was a pretty sick rogue list, I'm not gonna lie.
That was an intense deck.
I love lists like that. I saw one of the popular streamers, Hotform. He was playing Miracle Rogue the other day on his EU account, and you know it's. I had a lot of fun just watching it.
This guy's
those decks are really cool.
Let the pain speak to me.
Just gonna go ahead and get immediate value on his Unstable Ghoul here. Drawing the Acolyte's pretty important.
We hunger for vengeance.
And it's even gonna trade with the 3/1 SI agent.
Yep, definitely good value out of that Acolyte, not getting the full amount of draws, but it will trade into an SI7.
I mean, normally as a warrior, you're pretty happy just getting 2 draws. If you get 3, you're like ecstatic, but with 2, like, all right, feels good, man. Feels good, man.
I see.
There's the man of the Rusty Horn Hour, Grim Patron again, making his appearance.
Right, I mean, even without an Inner Rage, making 2 here, it's still probably the best play, just because it forces the Rogue to deal with both of them. Best way to deal with them, usually at this stage, if you have to only deal with 2, usually it's going to be Deadly Poison Eviscerate. But in this situation, he doesn't have a way of dealing with both of them, actually, so it's tough. Yeah, without no Blade Flurry and no Eviscerate.
I wonder.
Tough turn for Kuhaku. I definitely understand why he's, you know, taking his time here. Gonna just put on the Assassin's Blade. Wow, okay, Deadly Poison on the Assassin's Blade. Go face. realizes that's his best chance of winning the game. I like it.
He says, you know what? I've got the aggression. I took the initiative at the beginning stages of this. Just going to pile it on, not to quote the Grand Patron, but just going to push the advantage, push that damage as much as he can against this Grand Patron board.
He is definitely not going to be happy to see the the double shield block, though. That's going to make his opponent a lot harder to kill. But look at that. He's going to get a 10 damage Assassin's Blade with 3 charges. That's 30 damage on a blade. Yep. Holy cow.
He says, double shield block. You make me laugh. I'll take that out in one sweep.
Ooh, that whirlwind discard was pretty huge. I like the decision to sap there. Because well, not only do you reduce the tempo for your opponent, but you also had him mill a card there. Wow.
Oh.
That is lethal. Oh my god. Wow.
That looks like you have another interesting deck to pick up.
That Assassin's Blade. I mean, well, it looked like, from what I saw, it looked like a typical, standard oil rogue deck, but he was running the Assassin's Blade, which, I mean, a lot of people, it's like, okay, there's one reason to not run it is the fact that everyone's running weapon removal in Harrison, and some people are running double weapon removal, adding ooze. But then the argument for running is that a lot of times that people will get baited into your weaker weapons. Like even if you just stick a deadly poison on a dagger, they'll Harrison that or they'll ooze that. So then once they do that, then you know that your Assassin's Blade is safe. And so yeah, it really depends on if you can bait out the weapon removal early on. But in that situation, Karidum didn't even have the weapon removal. He didn't draw into it. I don't know if he's running Harrison in his deck. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But yeah, wow, Assassin's Blade. Damn.
Very powerful Assassin's Blade. Now on to his handlock versus Kuhaku's Mage. How do you feel about this matchup?
Well, Kuhaku's playing. Well, it seems to be. Okay, I'm a bit confused because of the owl. So otherwise, I would have looked this and thought it was gonna be like, okay, he's got the Pilot Sky Golem. So I'm guessing it's like a slower mech mage with just the silence in there. I don't know. I haven't seen this kind of list before, so it'll be interesting to see what else he has in his deck.
Yep, does look to be Mech Mage pulling out a Fell Reaver on this draw.
No, okay, yeah, definitely.
I think you're right. Definitely a slower Mech Mage. But you have to wonder now for Kuhaku that very aggressive start, the Karate Dump BM with his maximum implosion there.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty nice implosion for him, but. Fell Reaver gonna come out. Well, actually, Karidum does have a good response to this. He has Coin Siphon Soul. Alright. Not even gonna think about it. Just goes ahead and plays it.
Yep.
But unfortunately for Karidum, Kuhaku does have really strong follow-up. He can just go Sky Golem into Dr. Boom. And, well...
What's a 1/1M gonna do against the Sky Golem and Dr. Boom?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the issue here is that, well, Karidum's hand is, like, pretty reactive. He's got 2 heal bots, a Belcher, which doesn't really match too well. It'll just get eaten by the Sky Golem. Pretty favorable trade for Kuhaku here.
Mortal Coil going to come out from Karate Dump, take off that platted Sky Golem. Oh,
Oh, damn.
Oasis.
That's a fell cannon. That's not a card you see every day.
Yeah, it is true. Be interesting to see how he plays it, given that he is fighting a slow mech mage. But I guess there are plenty of non-mech mage cards in there for that Fell Cannon to take advantage of.
Right, actually, yeah, if you're up against a mech deck, like the Fell Cannon's actually just gonna hurt you a little more than it hurts your opponent.
Right. Does have both heal bots in hand. Has plenty of recovery to boost himself back up. In fact, can go back up to 27 now, following the Earthen Ring Farseer and the heal bot.
Yeah, spamming the board with some weaker minions here. How many minions does it take to take down Dr. Boom?
The eternal question for anybody fighting the magnificent Dr. Boom. How many minions do I have to trade in to get rid of this card?
If you have a Gore Howl, you just take it to the face. First charge of the Gore Howl does 7 damage. Boom.
That's true.
That's one thing that I really like to point out because I love the Gore Howl. Wow. That Arcane Missiles was pretty good.
Yeah.
Able to just take out the ooze without any problem. He's even got a Frostbolt in hand.
Time runs out on me.
Yeah, gonna just preserve everything on his board. Just gonna use his spells and his hero power just for removal here. Wow.
Says, you know what? No board for you. Everything else to the face.
And yeah, Karate Dome not running Molten Giants in this deck. Not that type of deck.
Does even still have an Alexstrasza to bring himself back, though. Still resilient in his Warlock deck. Has drawn both his Fell Cannons, unfortunately.
Oh wait, actually, this seems to not be purely so this is actually not a mech mage. This is kind of like a tempo mage, but with a pilot sky golem. And happens to be running shredders just because shredders are kind of like pretty much the best 4-drop in the game.
Right.
Someday I'll be just like you.
14 damage staring at him in the face.
Time runs out on me.
Yeah,
16, 17, 18.
it's
Did
looking.
he just miss lethal?
I don't think so.
No, he did, because he could have, well, not counting
No,
the boom bot, he could have frostbolted and hero power.
Yeah, it depended on whether the boombot hit. Like, but it happened that the boombot did hit the face. So miss lethal, but it probably won't matter this game.
Well, the boom bot traded in, but the boom bot traded into the anti-kill bot and not face.
Yeah, but it did damage the face though.
Karate Dome gonna pass it up, so that's it, right? Kuhaku
Wow.
sweeps it.
Yeah, I'm a bit sad to see Kraidam get 0-3'd like that, but man, the
Nature of the beast sometimes.
Kuhaku definitely did play pretty well that game. He drew well, he played well. His first game, his druid draws were just quite amazing. Yeah, I mean, wow. I think that's the first, that's the craziest blowout we've seen so far. Let me just check to see if Tosca and now go down already. Alright, Tosca says he's ready. Waiting for a response from Nalgodan. Alright, both ready.
Alright.
Yeah, so no need for intermission. We're just gonna go straight ahead.
Always bringing you all of the action that we can possibly bring you here at the Rusty Horn series. Certainly, you are in for a treat when Kuhaku can 3-0 his opponent in the semifinal match in a best-of-5. Absolutely steamrolled. Came out of the gate really with a tenacity and ferocity. I mean, took game 1 very quickly in turn 6 or turn 7 and just rode that momentum all the way through and didn't even stop to blink, I don't think.
Right, I mean, definitely drew well, but I didn't see any misplays either. I mean, you can draw well, but if you misplay, you know, that's on you. But he definitely did not misplay, showed some high quality play there, being a legend player, as expected.
Absolutely.
Alright, they're both in class selection right now. Probably thinking about what classes, what their opponent's classes are and what they should lead with. We'll let them do that before we head into their game. Alright,
Oh.
and they are underway.
Yep, they are underway, but you spoke a little bit to it, Astro. Choosing which of your 3 decks to start out with really can set the tone for the match or for your series. You know, you start out with your strong deck or what you feel is favorable, and you use that momentum to carry through to games 2 and 3. Or you start out with a deck you thought was strong and end up getting pushed in, so now you're on the back foot. So a little bit of extra time in deck selection is always understood in tournaments like these.
Yeah, you know,
Players try and gamble at what they think is best.
another way to approach it is you try to see what your weakest deck to their lineup is, and try to win with that one first. Yes, indeed. Now Godan's asking me if it's a best of 5. Yes, it is now a best of 5. And one of the reasons to play one of your weaker decks first is to not let yourself get in a situation where your weakest deck is now isolated versus decks that it's unfavored against.
It is true. What in the Team Archon, we've seen that happen. We've seen that play where they sort of force their opponents into decks that are unfavorable just based on matchups. So I mean, you can certainly wind up playing a deck you think is strong, but then leaving your weak decks to be your fallback decks, and that's never a good feeling to wind up on game 3 and having to use your weaker deck to try and come back, to try and battle back up that mountain.
Right. Pretty strong turn from Nalgodan here. I'm gonna be able to use the coin to get a buff on the Mana Worm. Plays out a Noyatron and a buffed up Cogmaster. Yeah, pretty strong turn here. Wait, I just noticed that... Okay, it seems like Tosca's running sort of like a mid-range paladin, but he's running a Sunwalker, which is like, isn't... You know, like a very common choice these days.
Right.
I understand it. It's definitely better than Belcher's against Patron, but also, I mean, the fact, like, I think the Divine Shield value varies depending on the matchup versus classes like Mage, where they can just hero power off the Divine Shield. It's not as good.
Powering up. Portals online.
Nalgudan aggressively developing this board. trying to play out pretty much every turn. We saw Mech Warper into a Snow Chugger there on that. Unfortunately, going to have to trade off the Cogmaster into the taunted shielded Minibot.
So actually, he thought a bit before committing everything to board, but it turned out that he was actually quite resistant to Consecration there, because his minion healths were at 1 and 3. So Blast Mage here though, is he gonna snipe the Minibot?
Yep.
That was pretty huge.
Yep. Blast Mages tonight have been on point, whether or not it was face to push advantage or to snipe out a Minibot. We've seen pretty good plays out of both Blast Mages we've seen played tonight.
Right, indeed we have. Loatheb here is going to be really good. He's got a pretty sizable board. Gonna protect it from being consecrated. And Tosca is just going to get frozen another turn, unfortunately. So he's not going to be able to attack with the Cog Hammer, let alone, you know, re-equip another weapon on it, the True Silver. Alright, so yeah, the Divine Shield, not so great in this matchup. Just gonna get pinged off.
Yeah. Pinged off, traded away on a Lothab. And Blast Mage, again, back to the face. Pushing that advantage. Blast Mage very strong tonight in Rusty Horn. Pushed for a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, the Blast Mage, if you think about its mana cost versus actual value, I mean, its base stats are already really good, and then you have like one of the best battle cries in the game. So it's like easily worth like 5.5 mana, let's be honest. Not the best Consecrate, but it had to be done there. And yeah, that is just lethal.
That's it. Tosca. Nalgwadon going to edge out Tosca there for game number 1.
Yeah, we're seeing some pretty. We're seeing Mage do pretty well today. We saw Kuhaku do it well with Mage versus Karidem earlier, and now I'm actually a huge fan of Mage as a class right now, simply because it's kind of, well, you have the advantage of if your opponent doesn't know you very well, they don't know whether you're playing Freeze Mage. There's like a lot of different types of mages, like Freeze Mage, Grinder Mage, Tempo Mage, Mech Mage. I think Mage right now has the most variety as far as competitive decks that you can actually play with it. So definitely, they're all very strong, and it keeps your opponent guessing until they actually see what cards you play, which is, you know, advantageous for you in the mulliganing phase, at least.
Definitely. What's your favorite Mage to play, Astro?
Actually,
Current.
Haven't been playing Mage very much. If I had to pick a Mage to play right now, I guess it'd be Mech Mage. Yeah, I think Mech Mage is really, really good. Freeze Mage, I don't have too much experience playing with it, and it's a little bit of a harder deck to play. It'll take a longer time to learn. So for those who are very well experienced in Freeze Mage, you know, it's an amazing deck. You can do really well with it in tournaments. It's quite popular in tournaments recently, actually. I've seen it quite a lot.
You looking forward to any TGT decks? Do you have any Inspire-driven decks in mind, or anything like that? Or are you just gonna play the cards as they come, so to speak?
I'm planning on playing a lot of Shaman, Totem Power.
That's right. That's what I like to hear.
I'm all about the Totem Power. I'm excited about all the totem buffs and the new awesome totems that are coming out.
I'll show them all.
Alright, so indeed, as I was saying, there's a lot of different types of mages you can bring to a competitive tournament. Tosca here, yeah, bringing out what seems to be, I mean, with the Belcher, I would guess it's one of the duplicate mages. Oh, okay, so there's another pretty cool mage deck that I haven't, that I didn't mention earlier. It's the Echo Molten Giant freeze mage list. So it's early on it appears to be like kind of a standard freeze mage. You'll see the scientists, you'll see Frost Nova Doomsayers, you'll see explosive sheeps, but then they'll also be running 2 Molten Giants and Echo of Medivh. Now we haven't seen them yet, but
what to do?
This could be one. This could be Echo Giant Echo deck.
Echo Giant Echo deck.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
All right.
It's the Echo Giant Echo deck. It has a ring.
Molten Giant Echo. Yeah.
Let the pain speak to me.
Well, I see the Doomsayer, so I thought Frost Mage, but I've seen the Doomsayer a little too late. So, had I seen it on turn 1, saw a Doomsayer, might have said Frost Mage, but not so much anymore. Hellfire gonna come out, clear off this board, clear off this Mad Scientist, this Acolyte of Pain.
Whoa, and a duplicate comes out. Duplicates. Ooh, duplicates the Acolyte of Pain, and then doesn't have enough space to even duplicate it and mills a card. That's, well, actually, given that he has a full hand, I guess the fact that he milled an Arcane Intellect, you know, isn't too bad.
Yeah, it's not too terrible. I guess his hand is a bit sort of varied mana cost with his 2 Flame Strikes being on the higher end there. So he wouldn't have been able to burn through enough to make that Arcane Intellect really worth it. So yeah, you're right. Probably not enough of a, you know, not too much heartache over losing that 1 Arcane Intellect.
Yeah, so I really like what Nalgadan did last turn. He pushed 8 to the face with his Giant, which is, you know, pretty much what you need to do against these sorts of mages. You really just gotta apply pressure to the face early on, put him into a range where you can pop their Ice Block really easily.
Second duplicate being drawn for Tosca on the end of that Acolyte of Pain.
And into an Ice Block.
Block as well.
I wonder if he just... actually, okay, he can just Explosive Sheep, actually. So, never mind. Explosive Sheep gonna do pretty good job of clearing this board here. Now Godan's got to start over. Ooh, even the Tempo Doomsayer here. Like, even if you want to develop a minion, I'm not gonna let you.
Right. Go ahead, try to develop your board, see what happens. You better have an answer for this Doomsayer. More often than not, Warlock not going to have an answer for that Doomsayer.
Yeah, and his hand's full, so he's probably just gonna throw out... He might throw out the Belcher to, you know, get out... Because when the Belcher dies, at least you get a 1/2 token, but instead, okay, he's just gonna throw out the Ancient Watcher. Nothing of value was lost.
By the power of Ragnaros, I have the power!
Ooh. Thorson, a pretty nice draw there. Gonna reduce all of his cards. Full hand, almost a full hand.
Get discounts on those Flame Strikes.
Yeah, boy.
Hawk's gonna have that board to really get Flame Strike value, but that's okay.
And the problem here is that Nalgadan doesn't have a way to deal with it immediately, so Toss is gonna get another turn of Thorson value. So his Flame Strikes are gonna cost 5 mana, which means he can play 2 Flame Strikes on the same turn. How often do you see that? I've never seen anybody play 2 Flame Strikes on the same turn.
You play Duplicate here so that when Thorson dies, you get him again?
That is actually... Well, maybe in this case you actually want to duplicate your Belcher. But yeah, I mean, getting either of these duplicated would be pretty sick. decides to not play a duplicate yet. Alright, fair enough.
It is hidden behind a Belcher, so understandable that it may live. I guess Shadow Flame or Hellfire are still concerns, but double Molten coming from Nalgwidon.
Right, and it's so sad because they're gonna die to double Flame Strike. Wow.
That value.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
You Flame Strike, coin Flame Strike here just to get rid of them? Yeah, looks that way. Understandable. 16 damage staring at you. I'd go ahead and get those out of there too. And you get another round of discounts from Thorson. He's just handing them out.
And now Godin's at 5 HP. This mage deck is pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Change of pace in what we've